We can just imagine what it was like here in 1868 in February. John Boyle O'Reilly on the Wild Wave, making his way down from Fremantle Prison under guard to end up here at the convict jail in Bunbury, to the south of me here. But little did he know or imagine in his wildest dreams that he would be back here almost 12 months later, waiting for the American whaler to whisk him safely to America. O'Reilly felt like he had a huge burden on his shoulders, and he was constantly writing poetry as a distraction. Some people actually say he was almost a manic poet. Okay, so I'd like to share with you one of the poems that O'Reilly actually wrote. Farewell, oh how hard and how sad 'tis to speak, the last word at parting forever to break. The fond ties and affections that cling around the heart, from home and from friends and from country to part. But 'tis harder when parted to try to forget, though it grieves to remember, 'tis vain to regret. The sad words must be spoken and memory spell, how steals on me sadly, farewell, oh farewell. So O'Reilly wrote that poem on the Hougoumont as they were leaving Portland. If we look over on these dunes over here, which is actually Australind area, O'Reilly, unbeknown to him, was that when the wild wave was coming down the coast here, those dunes would actually be a place that O'Reilly would revisit almost 12 months later when he escaped to America. At some time, one of the convict road gangs, they were pushing the road through here to the vast region. As they were clearing the bush, they came across a huge chur tree. Normally what they would do, they would actually use dynamite to blast the tree, or they would send in the sawyers or the timber cutters and they would cut it down. O'Reilly, being a conservationist, being a humanist, I guess being a poet, seeing the beauty of this magnificent tree, and spoke to the warder of the day and said, can the tree not be saved? Now, in honour of O'Reilly saving the tree, the Bunbury Shire decided to name this little park in honour of O'Reilly and that particular moment in history.
"'Twas down by the glenside I met an old woman, a-plucking young nettles. She near saw me coming. I listened a while to the song she was humming. Easy chorus, one. Glory-o, glory-o, to the bold Fenian man. Some died mid the glenside, some died mid a stranger, and wise men have told us their cause was a failure. They stood by old Ireland and they never feared danger. Glory-o, glory-o, to the bold Fenian man. Glory-o, glory-o, to the bold Fenian man.
Of course, what's here is the Maguire family. This is their connection to Darden. And of course, James Maguire, who was very instrumental in helping O'Reilly escape and who O'Reilly looked up to. He was one of those men who had a huge influence in the area. And the Carberrys, who the Maguires married into. There was the Murphys, the Harrises, the Doolans, the Dillons, the Toomeys, the Slappys. They're all here. The whole Irish community are all here.
Years and years ago, the hunger came, the desert thirst for love. He prayed for love. He cried out in the night time of his soul for love. The cup they gave was poison, whipped to the froth. For years he drank it, knowing it for death. He shrieked in soul against it, but must drink. The skies were dull. He dared not swoon or scream, as mothers see babies die for food.
There is some comment that he might have hidden underneath that shed, the industrial shed over there at the back, or over here in the school grounds near the church, near the old church.
Now, I've known Dr. Monier in relation to the Fenian connection, put it that way. In other words, he was very interested in what was achieved and gave further advice. So my intention here now is to present him with a list of the years that he attended the John Boyle O'Reilly Commemoration here in Australia. And I hope you enjoy Dr. Monier. You deserve a lot more. Thank you very much.
I'm president of the Australian Irish Heritage Association. We're more or less centred in Perth. One of our major things that we do is we present a prize called the Brendan Prize. And that's given to anyone who we feel has done a lot for Irish culture, Irish Australian culture. And it's going to be presented to Liam tonight, but just a little bit. Liam, you're going to join people like Mary Robinson, late President of Ireland, Richard O'Brien, who was an ambassador for Ireland, Jimmy Steins from the Melbourne Football Club, and in actual fact there's 3 recipients of the Brendan Award here tonight. Fred Ray and his wife Lily for their services to the Irish and WA in general. Also Celia and Tony Bray. Tony Bray has been in the Irish Club Committee for a long, long time, and he was also in the Irish Theatre Players for a long, long time. And also Michael Nolan, our ex-Consul General in Perth, he was a recipient of this award as well.
Tony,
This is a beautiful award. This is a beautiful award constructed by Charlie and Joan Smith, famous sculptors, and it's called the Brendan Award because it takes us back to the time, 800 years, when St. Brendan sailed from Ireland and discovered America. People believe it was Leif Erikson, but we believe, the Irish believe, it was St. Brendan. So on behalf of the Australian Irish Heritage Association, and indeed everybody here, and indeed anybody who is Irish or Australian and likes history, I'd love to present this to you, Liam.
February 18th, 1869, John Boyle O'Reilly is here amongst the paper barracks, hiding from the black trackers, the soldiers, the guards, spread all over the countryside looking for him. And it's here that he actually camped for up to 2 weeks, waiting for the American whaler to whisk him away to America.
Last evening we had a chance to party and celebrate the classic famous poet, patriot, humanitarian and author John Boyle O'Reilly. Well, today we reflect on the next chapter in this remarkable story. O'Reilly's intention and successful escape to make his way to the United States of America. So we're going to have a series of people speak this morning and give you a little more of an insight into this quite remarkable story. Now, we thought it would be appropriate to get proceedings underway with one of John Boyle's most well-known poems. I'd like to welcome a staunch supporter of the O'Reilly story, Peter Murphy, who's going to share some poetry with us this morning.
Only from day to day the life of a wise man runs. What matter if seasons far away have gloom or double suns? To climb the unreal path we stray from the roadway here. We swim the rivers of wrath and tunnel the hills of fear. Our feet in the torrent's brink, our eyes on the cloud afar. We fear the things we think instead of the things that are. Like a tide our work should rise, each later wave the best. Today's the king in disguise, today's the special test. Like a sawyer's worker's life, the present makes the flaw, and the only field for strife is the inch before the saw.
'Twas down beside the Boyne's green banks, beneath the leafy shade, I told my boyish love-tale to a little brown-haired maid. 'Twas there I heard the whispered words that filled my soul with bliss, and planted first on Mary's lips a lingering lover's kiss. All past and gone, those dreams of joy, all fled and naught remains, but memory's potent spell recalls their pleasures and their pains.
The unsung hero for those of you who hear me year after year belting it out, I don't apologise, and for you who are going to hear it now, I equally don't apologise. I refer, of course, to the humblest man of them all, a man of the cloth, a Father Patrick McCabe. It's true that he was the chaplain of the day that instrumentalised, brought about the reality of the freedom of John and his comrades at the end of the day of this story.
I don't think that perhaps John Boyle O'Reilly was in the league of Ned Kelly, because he was not a man of violence. At the end of the day, he denounced violence very much so. So he was really a very good person with a good heart, and we're very unfortunate we lost him so early. I mean, his work is testament to just how powerful he was as a figure. I do wish and hope that we can develop this into a real worldwide celebration in the Bunbury region, and of course it's not just Bunbury, it's Darden up in Australand as well, and I would like to see that take off from next year.
I'm here with Tony Bergen from the Bunbury community, and Tony's been a big supporter of the John Boyle O'Reilly events over the last 25 years. Tony, what does today's event mean to you as a community member?
It just the Irish spirit is strong within our community, and John Boyle O'Reilly, I think, laid those foundations all those years ago, and I think it's really special today, 25-year commemoration, and it's an important part of history, local history. So that's what it means to me, basically.
My name is Janine Unsworth, and it's been a great pleasure to be here at the 25th Memorial for John Boyle O'Reilly. I first heard the John Boyle O'Reilly story with Liam Barry on ABC Southwest a number of years ago, and the story has certainly hit a mark with me, and I remember that interview very fondly with Liam and learning about the remarkable man, the humanitarian, the patriot, the poet and the writer. One of my favourite poems is called The Real Good. It's a very short poem, but I'll read you just the closing 4 lines of this poem, which I just love. Then within my bosom, softly this I heard, each heart holds the secret, kindness is the word. And I think that sums up this man, this great man out here at Australand.
Well, I think that O'Reilly is a very human figure, if I can say that, in terms of he was obviously a very charismatic person, but also a very sensitive person, someone who had his own demons with which he struggled when he was here. Obviously he attempted suicide, but as well as having those vulnerabilities, he managed to live an extraordinarily full life. A man with huge passion and belief in the written word, and a man who took his own lessons and his own witness to oppression and persecution and the desire for freedom and applied it to other people's.
There's a whole aspect of the whole story would make a wonderful movie if somebody could take the time to write the script.
Indeed, a Hollywood blockbuster, you might say.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so many different aspects of it, you know, the romance, the intrigue, the planning.
And tell me what does the message that John Boyle O'Reilly has actually sort of sent out to communities, not only here in the southwest of West Australia, but the world. What was his message?
I think loyalty was one of the main things.
Loyalty.
Loyalty. And the love of his country.
Tell me about this event today, this tumultuous day or weekend that we're experiencing here in the city of Bunbury.
It's been fantastic, Peter. It's a shame that a lot of people who should support it don't, but what we're going to do from here on in is compel them to support it. I think it's an amazing story. As I said on my radio interview the other day, my wife and I flew to New York in 24 hours. John Boyle O'Reilly went from here to the States in 8 months. And endurance, tenacity, the will to win, that's the Irish spirit that I was brought up with as a kid.
O'Reilly was a great lover of liberty. He was a great orator. He was a great poet. He was a great humanitarian. And he was a dreamer. An extraordinarily complex character. But he was whatever kind of charisma he had, everybody seemed to love him. Everybody fell under his spell.
Has the John Boyle O'Reilly sort of story actually had an effect on you as a young person?
It has. I've learnt, as I've been coming over the years, I've learnt a bit about him and what it means to us as a younger generation and to the family as well. And to all these people, I've gotten to know people over the years as well. It's pretty cool.
If you had one last word to say about John Boyle O'Reilly as a person, what would it be, Dr. Monet?
Well, John Boyle O'Reilly had a belief and he acted.
In his belief. Do you think he gave us hope?
Well, from talking to the people in the US that I've talked to, certainly they gave me the impression that he raised a different line of thought in the US in regard to all people. We had the Negro situation where they first abolished slavery and all that sort of thing. But then we have there Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, South Americans, people from many countries in the US, and they need to have a hope and belief that their lives will be what they want it to be.
Bringing to our notice and for future generations the importance of John Boyle O'Reilly as a local figure and later on in Boston and in American politics. Obviously in the east coast of America there were lots of Irish migrants who had come across to escape the troubles at home, both the financial troubles and the problem with the oppression that they felt and the lack of opportunity they felt. They became active supporters of the entire Fenian movement, and I've no doubt that when O'Reilly arrived in Boston there were people from the movement who supported him, and what he obviously set out to do was to recognise that there were other Fenians here and to convince the people in Boston and on the east coast of America that a rescue should be promoted.
How can I show you all the silent birds with strange metallic glintings on the wing? Or half tell all their sadness in cold words? The poor dumb lutes, the birds that never sing? Of wondred's parrots green and Irish hue, of sensuous flowers and of gleaming snake. Ah, what I see I long that so might you. But of these things, what pictures can I make?